This morning, we are joined by a good friend of mine. Jesse and I have done, I was thinking about this, Jesse. I was going back and looking through the photos. We have done so many things together.
Yeah.
We were Quantum Leap instructors together. We have done some presentation. Rob was there, came for a wealth day. Jesse was there.
Yep.
We raised a couple $1,000, but $2,500 for fund your mission scholarships. I think we put it towards some money classes for a nonprofit that we work together for. So Jesse is a lot of things. Jesse is a Disney dad. Jesse is a 75 hard participant. Jesse finishes marathons, right? Jesse practices jujitsu. Jesse is an agent. Jesse's been an entertainer. You could ask him about that offline. Uh, right? But what I love about Jesse is Jesse's somebody that always, when I talk to him, he is doing something, right? He is a coach, but he is a coach who is always taking action. Like wherever he is right now, it's, hey, I'm doing 75 hard right now. I have this other goal, and I am taking steady, consistent action towards this goal, right? And the one thing I've learned from him is it's just about small, consistent action, right? When I'm hanging with him, it's just like, of course, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. It's not like we're changing everything. It is not. So we talk about the breakthrough blueprint. He's got a great podcast. I was listening to him this morning. He got some great interviews there. Go back and talk about that. But I wanted Jesse to come on. He's come on before because the difficulty in this job, right, is that everything we want in this life lies on the other side of boredom. I've heard that so many times. That is a quote directly from Gary Keller. I was talking to our buddy Sean Provencher. I called him and he's like, Justin, I just got the phone with Gary, coincidentally. And he told me, you need to hear this. Everything you want lies on the other side of boredom, right? Which is just how do I keep doing the thing that is working? Like I love Aisha was sharing, hey, I've got this thing and I'm getting these referrals, but eventually, that like right runs out because it's a finite pond. And it's like, nope, that's awesome. How do I go out every day and shake some hands and add five people to the database? Put them in there, send the text, thank you. How do I keep doing those things? So, Jesse, I'm so excited to have you join us this morning. Tell me something good. What's good with you, sir?
Oh man, being here with you all, I feel like if I get invited back, that mean I did something good. So this is the third time I'm here. So I'm like, okay, I must be doing something good with you all that you all, see value in what, I have to share. So that is something good for me. I don't take that for granted. Like I do not take that for granted when people ask me, hey, could you pour into our people again? So I am honored and grateful that I even get the opportunity to be here with you all this morning.
You're one of the reasons we had it, actually, because we started Gain Tactical Tuesday. Great Tactical Tuesday grew out of just it's hard to come up with stuff with your energy huddle every morning. And I was like, what if I
Yeah,
start
yeah.
getting my friends to come on here and talking to us? Right?
Yeah. And it's one of those things too, when you think about it for us with kids that it's funny that we can say things, but yet if they go to school or somebody down the street tell them the exact same thing you tell them, for some reason they hold on to it a little bit more. So it's one of those types of situations, right?
Hmm. Exactly. So, Jesse, what are you seeing right now in the market? What are you excited to talk about? You're going around, you coaching people all over the country, right? So you got exposure to a lot of different markets. Some of us, right, on this call, we got a lot of an unusual amount of Northern Virginia people that live in some sort of bizarro market where there's still 10 offers on houses. I
Mm,
saw this morning my girl Lauren had to compete with nine offers. That's not
yeah.
the case for the whole country. What are you seeing out there? What are,
So what I'm starting to see is people are getting off of the sidelines right now, right? People are saying, okay, I'm ready to make something happen. So the thing is that I always say, and I've been saying it a lot more now, is we have to position ourselves as that when the people ready to get off the sidelines, they're coming to us to help them with guidance for what steps they need to take. I'm talking about people that's even been in their homes for probably the past 3 or 7 years. They're
Mhm.
they're ready, they're thinking about getting off the sideline. You're going to probably see people who locked in interest rates at that 3 to 4%. starting to, test the market to see what's going on. So again, we want to position ourselves to be the one-stop shop, the expert that they're coming to answer their questions about is it still the right time for them?
I saw Logan Motoshami, Housing Wire, check him out, Chart Daddy, talking about this, and he was saying the idea that there's a rate lock-in just doesn't go with reality. People have been giving up their 3% interest rates
Mm,
steadily. People make
yeah.
moves based off of needs, not off of finances. The
Yeah. And you got to
lifestyle.
think about it too. Life is happening to people.
Yep.
Life is happening. So people, even if they said that I am never moving, I am staying where I'm at, life is happening. It's the D's, right? Divorce, diapers, diplomas, deployment. Like it is these things that are happening to where I could be on the phone with you, Justin, and you'd be like, "Oh, Justin, I have no plans on moving at all." And then as soon as we get off the phone, you get a call like, "Hey, Justin, we got this amazing opportunity for you in Texas. Six-figure opportunity. Only thing is you have to relocate. Are you willing to
Yep.
do that?" And now Justin, like, "Oh, okay, I'm ready to make a move." Like that is literally happening to people right now where there's something that's going on in their life to where now their mindset has shift from I'm not going anywhere to okay, what are my options for me to make a move?
So we've got some opportunities coming right now. One of the things we talked about in our run up to this was like three different sources we could be looking at to build pillars of business: buyers, investors, REO. Right? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's go with the buyer. Here's the reason why I want to say let's go with the buyers first because what I've seen over the past 18 years, I just hit 18 years in the business, right? So what I've seen is your traditional buyers turn into investors. Investors turn into people that's purchasing REO properties. So it's like that first domino, that first
Mhm.
piece of the puzzle is the buyers. Now, when we get the buyer, now we're turning them into, investors. Because I will say this, whenever you have a closing with a buyer, I know you have your amazing closing gifts. An investor book needs to be included in that closing gift. It can be the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. It could be whatever books that you like on investing. That should be a part of your closing gift to your buyers.
And I
Yep.
got right here. That's a good one, right? Hold,
Yep.
flip, rich dad,
Yep.
poor dad. No, I like that. That's a strong. I've been going crazy about tax-free wealth recently. I've been giving that one away,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
about
You are positioning them to let them know, like, hey, you have achieved the quote unquote American dream. You are a homeowner. Now, let's take it a step further with that American dream. Let's start getting you educated on building up a portfolio, building that generational wealth, being able to jump into, again, one of the greatest industries over, if you think about it, from the beginning of time, people was buying and selling land, even if they was selling it for a cow and a mule. Like, hey, I'll give you this piece of land for that cow and that mule. People were doing it, right? So we need to make sure that we're setting our clients up. This is how you create those long-term clients too. You're providing value. Hey, I helped you purchase a home. Now I want to have the conversation and educate you on what it's like to be an investor to create generational wealth for yourself.
well, Jesse. This is why you came back three times because you are in line with everything we think about, right? Is we got to become a financial advisor. We're a wealth determiner for our clients. We go on a wealth journey. We take our clients on a wealth journey. I love
Yeah.
hearing this, right? And you talk about the beginning of time. Jesse is hailing from the beginning of our industry, right? Chicago, from whence all this came. The Chicago Board of Realtors came up with the concept of a realtor, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So step one is working with buyers. So what could I
Yeah.
be doing to find more, identify more buyers right now?
So first, let me say this, because I want to make sure I leave you all with practical things. When we're talking about each one of these buckets, our first pillar should be structure, positioning, and then repeatability. So how are you structuring? What are you doing? Your buyer process. I know you all, have a lot of things in place already. What I realize is that sometimes we drop the ball because we are so used to doing the same thing. Like when things become, it's that unconscious competence, right? We know it like the back of our hand, so we start getting a little bit more lackadaisy with it. So we want to make sure that structure is in place so we do not let anything fall between the cracks. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. So okay, go with your question.
No, so I love it. So when you say structure, just meaning you've got a process, you're checking off
Yes.
that checklist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like we're not just assuming, we're still going through the call, the point and call. We're still going down my
Yes.
checklist, making sure I'm not skipping steps. Okay, I love that structure.
Yes.
Um, what was the second pillar?
Positioning. So how are you positioning yourself to be, and I call it, and this is me aging myself, how are you positioning yourself to be the yellow pages for your client?
Okay.
Now, if you're not familiar with the yellow pages, there used to be a book, it was yellow, that you can go in there and any business you needed, you can go through that book and you can find that business. We want to position ourselves and our past clients, our sphere of influence lives as the walking yellow pages. I know
Mhm.
if I call Justin, I can get hey Justin, I need a referral for an HVAC system. Hey Justin, I need referral for lawn care. Hey Justin, summertime is coming. Do you have any referrals for any summertime programs for the kids? You want to be that yellow pages for your database so they can come to you for anything they need. Even before she was born.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. No, I love that. And there's a couple ways I can think to do that. One, Matt Miali back in November had an amazing script. Go steal that script about calling. Hey, Rob, I'm going to call Rob up and I'm going to say, hey, Rob, can you help me out? Have you, as you know, I got a list of the best vendors in the country. Have you had anyone that's come and done some work on your house in the past year that you thought was just the best? Great prices, great service, you know? And then
That
Rob's
is
gonna,
such a great script.
it's
It
such a good,
is so easy to make. It is actually valuable for all your other clients.
it,
It's so
it's a
good.
great engine. And that guy recommends somebody, Jesse, and you're gonna love this. You should go check this out. And then he goes and he calls the vendor and he plants that seed of like, hey, I'm gonna refer you, gives credit to Rob for the referral. And by the way, I'm gonna plant the seed in your head. When you get busy, we're gonna talk because you need to buy an investment property to offset all the income you're about to make.
Yeah, everything is planting the seed. It
Yes.
does not matter if it's a, excuse me, if it's the vendor, your client, you are constantly planting seeds for, hey, have you thought about investing? Are you currently investing?
Yep.
Do you want me
Uh,
to take a look at your investments to, give you an updated valuation of what's going on? Like you're positioning yourself for everybody you are in contact with to be able to provide service for them.
so you're the yellow pages. So I'm doing that. I can do it with the direct calls. I could do that with, by the way, maybe you're a reactive person. Totally okay. Maybe you like social. Somebody calls you. Anybody else made a referral? I did like three this week where I had to like find some vendors. Go on social media and tell the story. Hey, someone just called me and I connected them. I saved this. By the way, I'm always available. Feel free if you reach out. Right? Like, like that's a great, easy way to do it, to get started is just start planting those seeds or
Yeah.
asking for a review or a testimonial or like just documenting what you're doing is another way to start sometimes. Is just like if it's hard to sit down, you feel salesy. Well, if I start documenting the things I'm already doing, right? It's a quick back way to get into social media. Is like if you just documented all the stuff that you did, the competition is not you versus me and Jesse and Matt Magel and Amanda. It's us versus the 80 something percent of realtors that are not active.
hmm Yep.
Yep.
And to your point, it's creating SOPs for ourselves, standard operating procedures, right? What are you doing on a consistent basis? When you write that down, now you have a SOP. So you have that structure in place. When you have that structure in place, now you're positioning yourself in people's lives because you have everything already structured out.
And then SOP is going to give us the third one, right? The repeatability.
Repeatability, yes. That
Yep.
is the big thing. Whenever you close any client, they are going right back in the top of your funnel as a new lead.
Oh, tell me
People
more. Tell me more. I like that idea.
too often when we close somebody, even if there's an investment property, we're outside the picture in front of the investment property. If it's a single family home, taking a picture with the key, and then after that, we may follow up a few times, and then it's just the regular, oh, turn your clock back, turn your clock forward. No, we are putting people right back in the beginning of the pipeline like they are a brand new lead and that they're either going to be buying or selling again. So now we're starting that whole process over to where we're having them on our drip campaign. We're calling them with some piece of value. Like we're staying on top of them because, again, life happens. I'm pretty sure a lot of you all on here who's been in the business for a little bit that you had a client that you helped purchase a home and they give you a call back not even 12 months later like, "Hey Rob, hey Justin, you know what? Something came up and I need you to come let me know, what's my options for getting a home sold because I have to make a move." Right? This is happening more than people realize. So again, once you close somebody, they're right back at the top of your pipeline as a new lead.
I love that. I was thinking about I had a local investor and he was flipping for other people and doing a lot of other things, but never bought like for himself. Sold him his first property he bought for himself. Jesse, let me tell you the what, like I go back, I look back like 3 months later, he's already bought three more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put it back in the top of the
Yep.
pipeline. And I see him at Grid, and we got a great relationship. This guy wears the Grid gear. He loves me, but I did not call him. I did not call him after closing and say, "Hey, when are we on the next one?" I did not ask for the business again.
Yep.
And
And here's the thing we have to remember, especially when we're working with investors. Investors they're cool, but when it comes to business, unless you've really solidified yourself with them, they are not loyal.
yeah,
Investors want what are the best deals.
They're loyal to the deal.
They are loyal to the deal. We have to stop putting investors in the same bucket that we put traditional buyers and sellers in because they're not. A buyer and seller, you can get away with 6, 7 months not reaching out to them. Like you're gonna have some work to build that rapport back. But an investor, they're always looking for the next deal. So if you're not doing your part, because it's not their job to stay in touch with you, that's one thing we got to remember. Our database, it is not their job to reach out to us and check with us. It is our job to do that, right? So investors can go anywhere to find a deal. You want to make sure you position yourself. We're talking about positioning that they're going to constantly come to you, or you're always providing them with a deal, even if the deal is not the right one for them. Hey, this just came across my desk. I want you to check it out, see if it works for you.
hmm
Yeah, Justin, I was going to say, I just want to echo what Jesse just said. The way to really play the game is to control the inventory. If you control the
Yes.
inventory, then
Yes.
then you control your income, which is just go get listings, go get pre-foreclosures, go get short sales, go get
It's almost like we
REO,
planned
go.
this. So we talked about buyers, talked about investors. What is inventory? What is REO? REO is inventory. It is bank-owned inventory. Real estate
Yeah.
owned is the
Yeah.
REO is the internal categorization on the bank's balance sheet. That's what they call it. They call it REO, real estate owned. So when we're talking about REO, it's going and getting inventory from institutions that have foreclosed and taken back property. How do I go get
Yeah.
that? How do I go get more control listing inventory, right, Jesse? So
Yeah, yeah. So before I go there, I want to just piggyback on what Rob said, right? If you control the inventory and you're providing information to your investor database, they're going to look at you as like, okay, Rob, Justin, Jesse, this is the person I need to go to. Again, even if the deal is not for them, but you are constantly providing them with something. So to Rob's point, you can go on Zillow, right? Zillow has things listed as pre-foreclosures, right? You can put together a list of a bunch of these pre-foreclosures. You can run a quick one-page analysis on it. Excuse me. And you can say, you can go to your investors like, hey, these 10 properties just came across my lap. Here's the numbers of it. They're pre-foreclosures. Let me know if any of these things catches your eye, and then I'll do the legwork to see if we can make this happen. you are becoming of value to your investors. You are letting them know that you can provide them with anything and you can try to help make things work for them.
Nick Despotidis came, he runs our Grid LA Investor Club, came and talked to us, Jesse. Go back and watch that. Anyone on here, it is a masterclass. Nick uses Zillow because you can do keyword searches. So he
Yep.
sets up some keyword alerts for himself. He uses a little AI. Same thing. He's got some tools that can quickly create some reports on these, some comp tools as well for these. But he's doing the same thing of quickly doing how to identify an opportunity, get it out to my list, get myself out there and act on the opportunity. So if you want to do what Jesse is saying, like Nick has and you need a how to, watch that one. He's going to walk through exactly what we're talking about of how we could be using. Maybe you set a keyword up for investor or needs TLC, or you play with some of those words where it's harder to search that in the MLS actually. So those sometimes can be pretty effective, and you can set that up where you get that once a day or instantly, where you have one digest where you can go, all your keywords can come like in one batch. So
Yeah.
worth checking out. I love that. So yeah, I'm consistently positioning myself as an expert. Same pattern, right? Structure,
Yes.
positioning, SOPs. Is there any other structure that I need to work with investors at a high level in your opinion? So I've got to be providing them with some opportunity,
So
the big one, right? So how do I get myself in front of some deal flow?
yeah, so I actually wrote that down. Let me find it because I took some notes because again, when I come talk to y'all, I want to make sure I am on
Good morning.
top
Welcome.
of my game, right? So let me see. I wrote that down. Here we go. So thing is, like when we're talking about our structure, so we want to make sure that we, first of all, I know a lot of you all know this, but I did hear that we got kind of like some newer agents on the call, right? I think I heard it. Yeah. So we want to make sure we know a few things. So I wrote this down. Moves to attract investors, right? First, learning basic ROI metrics. So cash on cash return, cap rate, and rental comps, right? We want to make sure that we know these key terms because when we're talking to investors, they only care about numbers. They don't care about paint. They don't care about none of that. Does the numbers work for what it is that they're looking for, right? So what we want to do is, and I'm pretty sure you all have this already, for your group, is pretty much a simple deal analysis template. Just a simple little template where you can start, analyzing deals. And this is something for you to start getting practice in. So you could just go into MLS, look at a property that would be investor special, run a quick analysis on it, and just start, getting yourself familiar with things that, investors will be looking for, right? Yep, the bigger pocket
Yeah,
calculator. That's a
I went
good one.
to bigger pockets because I wasn't sure how to do this, and they have some calculators. Corey had been on this for years before me, and I think I'm efficient, not lazy, but I was like, great, cool, this works. This tool works. I can just use this tool to crank out. So I was going to, bigger pockets, logging in Core's Pro account and
Yeah.
running a report. Like real simple, Corey, what is that, that pro account cost you?
I can't
240 a
remember.
year.
Maybe, yeah, that's at 240 something bucks a year.
20 bucks, gotcha.
$20 a month, you could say.
20 bucks a month for some tools. So that's, yeah. So you've got a deal analysis calculator. And again, we got structure, positioning, right? Repeatability. So I
Yes.
start doing this consistently because, right, I'm going to get that confidence from the reps.
Yep. So I want to go into REOs before because I know you all usually have, your session after we're done, right? So I want to just go into the REO just real quick that when you're looking to get into the REO world, these asset management companies are looking for people that can be consistent. Like they give us timelines and you have to make sure you're on top of those things, right? A big part of that is BPO consistency. So what usually happens is so there was an aspect which I'm grateful for. When I first got my license in '07, '08, I got connected with an asset management company my first 3 months in the business. And talk about a crash course in REOs and BPOs with like it was crazy, yet I learned so much where they are very time like their timing is their thing for them, right?
Hmm.
So if they send a BPO and that's a broker price opinion, pretty much that is pretty much like a CMA, but as you're going into a little bit more details, you being familiar with that process, you can either do an exterior BPO or interior BPO. Exterior BPO, they just want you to ride by, take a front of the house and both streets, both directions. An interior BPO, they want you to go in and just say, okay, what would the repair work be to get this home to a certain price point to where from where it's at right now. So you just want to make sure that you're getting yourself familiar with that. Communication and follow-ups. Those are very big things that asset management companies look for. So as you're, going to step into that realm, you just want to make sure, hey, your communication is on point. If something goes wrong, just right there, let them know up front, hey, this is what's happening, right? Piece of caution would be doing bank-owned properties and REOs as the listing agent. You are responsible for whatever upfront cost that comes along with the property. They do reimburse you. So if the property needs to be rekeyed, you have to, get it rekeyed, send them the receipt, they'll reimburse you. Lawn care needs to be done. I had a bank owned property where we had a bad storm and a whole tree fell. I was responsible for that. Granted, I had a big chainsaw in my garage, so I went there, cut the tree up, sent them an invoice, and hey, got paid for my labor. But these are some things you want to think about when, because people always say, I want to get into the REO world. I want to get into it. I'm like, hey, there's a lot of things that comes along with that, and your communication skill has to be on point for these companies to feel like they want to do business with you.
I worked for a team that sold over 3,000 REO properties. Walter and Christine Delgado down in Tampa. So they had the REO account for Hillsborough County there, the four surrounding counties. They ran that business, and some years they sold, 600, 500 houses um, off of Excel. But it was all checklists. It was to your point, Jesse.
Yep.
It was there is a checklist. Some of these, if you have the REO, you need to give the bank an update on a weekly
Hmm.
basis or a bi-weekly basis. It just is whatever that was, which means, there was like a Google Drive and there was the photos because they had the runner. He was going by and taking an updated photo of the front of the house. To like there's proof of life things that you had to hit along the way there to be
Yeah.
successful. No, I got that. How do I get into? You have any suggestions on how do I build a relationship with an asset manager?
Yeah. So there are a bunch of sites now. Like again, when I got into business, I literally had a list and I had to call to call these places. So now they have a list. Like I know right now, res.net, either resnet or res.net. That was the one that I was partnered with for years, where it started out where they'll send me BPO orders. Once they see that I was able to do the BPOs and I was on top of the BPOs, then the listing started coming in. So it was,
Awesome.
hey Jesse, do you work this area? Yes, I do. Okay, here's the details of the property. You'll have to get it rekeyed, or hey, we do have a key on premises. This is the lockbox number. Change the lockbox out. Do like they set everything up for you. Where that one again, that was the one that I worked with the most because they was consistent with sending listings. Like my first
Yeah.
3 years of real estate, all I did was work listings from res.net. Like I didn't work with buyers. I didn't do traditional listing presentations. It was just Jesse, do you work this area? Yep. Okay. Can you do a BPO? Let us know what the valuations are, and then let's get the property on the market.
Jesse, explain the power of being able to work with one client 10 times, 20 times a year versus, right? Like, I want people to really hear this, right? It's so important to hear this. Your, your cost to acquire a client goes down and
Yes.
your long-term gross value of the client goes up. It's beautiful. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Because to that point, right? Like I had one point of contact. Hey Jesse, we have this property on the north side of Chicago. Would you work this area? Yes, perfect. Same point of contact. Hey Jesse, we just had another one come up. Do you? It was one point of contact through the whole thing, and to your point, Rob, that it started out being like, okay, here's a $30,000 property. Oh, Jesse, you did good with that. Okay, here's a $60,000 property. Jesse, you did good with that. Here's a $150,000 property. So as you are putting reps in and you're knocking these things out, they want to know if your communication is on
They're
point.
testing you. Everything's a test.
That
We always say that within
that
our business. Everything's a test. They're giving you a
yep.
little responsibility to see how you show up. If you do well, they'll give you more. If you do well, they'll give you more. Yeah.
Yep, and then the orders just started coming in. Like I tell you, my first 3 years as a realtor was all REO properties. That's all I did. And
Yeah.
and to that point, it started again. I think my lowest one was about $10,000. I knocked it out the park. The next one, 15, then 20, then up to 80, then up to because they have bank owned properties in all price ranges.
Yeah.
People are foreclosing in every price range, right? If you they are auditioning you, they're testing you. You put in the work, you have your systems in place. Again, it all goes back to the systems. You have your
Mhm.
systems in place, you're staying on top of it, they start rewarding you with more at a quicker pace and at a higher price point.
Did you start building an investor list over those 3 years?
Yes. Yes. It got to the point where investors will reach out to me like, "Hey Jesse, do you got anything coming up in this area? I don't got nothing right now, but if something comes across, again, come across, you're going to be the first person I reach out to." Also, vendors, contractors, those investors come in with their contractors as they're evaluating. I'm having conversations with the contractor too. I'm getting that contractor's information. Like everything is about building up your bench and your database and pipeline.
Jesse, are you seeing more REO properties hitting the market? Less? Because it was a little quiet there for a while.
It's still a little quiet. Like I haven't had a BPO order come across my email probably in about the past 3 months. Now there was one period of time last year where I'm like, oh, I started getting a little nervous because it was like, hey, BPO request, BPO request. I'm like, okay, well, is something going on? But it kind of died down a little bit. So I'm not seeing too much, and there's gonna always be bank-owned properties that come up for you to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's a
They're
great,
always going to be that.
great niche.
There's a
Yeah.
little pocket, like those people that bought like at the peak of the market, like 2023, whether either for us it's the short-term rental market in the Smokies, where they're totally upside down because they just bought at an overinflated price. This happened before. But we have had some stuff with short sales, or we've had to basically almost
Yeah.
there's no equity. There's just some I wouldn't say it's the majority of the market, but some of those people that just bought recently, if something happens to them, they don't have any room right now. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
So to that, so if you all are not familiar with the short sale process, get familiar with that because that is going to be a opportunity for you all. There's going to be people that they don't want to have it go into foreclosure and the bank get it. They want to try to do something beforehand. Set yourself up to be able to, hey, oh, I can help you sell it traditionally, or I can help you sell it as a short sale. That's a whole different conversation we're going to have, but I can help you either or. So definitely set yourself up for position with that. And then also, Dr. Yan, the economist, the National Association of Realtor Economists, he did say that you're probably going to see a lot of people this year. To your point, Justin, there's going to be like they're going to probably barely break even what they have to sell, or they're going to be a little bit underwater, but they're going to be in a position where they have to sell regardless. So again, that's just making sure we're on top of our game so we can help them in any direction that they're going.
Yep. And if you haven't done a short sale, it's not that complicated, right? The big thing typically, well, I say that, but it's just it's,
No,
it's a
no, for
long
real.
process. But the biggest thing is like, hey, the bank wants to know that Jesse doesn't have a bunch of other reserves where he's sitting
Yes.
on cash and crypto. And no, we're not taking less. Pay us what you owe us. So if you're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
sell,
the misconception about short sales is that, oh my God, it is just the hardest thing ever. No, it just takes time, like Rob said. Again, and majority of that time is being taken, if we're being honest, is that the client is not providing the documentation that the bank is asking for in a
yep,
timely manner. They need
exactly.
it. The one main big issue that I've seen with doing it is that letter of hardship.
Yep.
People feel like they don't, oh, well, I don't want them in my business. Excuse me. Like, you
Yep.
don't want them in your business. Like, no, they need to be in your business if you want to make sure that you don't have this foreclosure on you.
You've gotta do it was always like now it's a little better, but it was the hardest part was just tracking down. You just have to fax these things. Who do I have to
Yeah.
identify? Who do I get the letter that's a power of attorney that gives me, the right to communicate on their behalf, then just brokering, getting Jesse to fill out the whole documentation, write
Yeah.
the sob story, letter of hardship, going back and forth with it. Yeah, I did a bunch of these when I started in Knoxville in 2010 for all these short-term rental properties, right? But
Yeah.
that could be a great niche to build that out. All you would really need is just someone that's already done it you could talk to, a good attorney that could, help you with hey, could you bill me, something for the times I'm going to need you to write like a power of attorney letter or something? Could you
Yeah.
bill me for it? That'd be about it. And then it's just staying on top of the process.
And it all comes back to systems.
Yes.
Having that structure, have that already in place where, hey, if a short sale situation come up, we already have our systems, we already have everything we need where we can stay on. It all comes back to system.
It
Have
does.
all of your stuff together where you're already over prepared and you're not trying to get prepared when it's go time.
Yep. The biggest challenge in the short sales too was just following up on the timeline with the bank. There's
Yeah,
a big difference
yeah,
between if I'm calling twice a week or versus once a week in terms of, well, we didn't get
yeah.
that. Now you got to resend it. It was just like a flip or something. The timeline will eat you up. So if you stay on top of that, that's the part I could control was the effort
Yeah,
part of like, where are you in the process? What do you need next? Where are you in the process? What do you need next? Just
yeah,
Chinese check.
exactly.
I love it. Who's got something, what did this spark? This is an interactive call. It's why it's live on Zoom. You know, we got Jesse on here. We've gotten very tactical today, right? So first of all, hey, I want to work with more buyers because I'm going to turn those buyers into investors, right? Then on that journey, I'm going to go out here and go capture some listings, capture some inventory, right?
I
Anybody got
I
feedback?
have a
Ah,
question.
yeah.
Um, so I'm trying to use more AI, and I wanted to know like what do you use that at all? And particularly when looking for like sources for REOs or like um code violations or any other what's the other one I was thinking? I messaged it in here. Pre-foreclosures and whatnot. So are you finding this through AI at all, or do you have like actual contacts? I mean, obviously you have the contact from the asset management company you worked with, but I'm finding that a lot of people are starting to use that. Are you seeing that as well? And do you find success in it if you do use it?
So I haven't used AI in that realm of things. One thing that I would say is if and thinking about that question is if you utilize it to save you time with researching things.
Mhm.
So I would go in there and I say, hey, chat, you are a REO asset management company and you work with bank-owned properties, and then go into asking the questions that you want to ask so you can get the information you need. It's a
Mhm.
quick way to get the information. Then you can double check that versus, other sources as well. But like I said,
Mhm.
I haven't personally used AI for that yet, so I can't really answer in depth for that
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when I think about that too, it's what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? What is a large language model? What is it actually doing? So it can be helpful, but if AI is just my go-to basically search engine like Perplexity or something, and it's just directing me to a site like ResNet
Mhm.
or something, I may not be using AI because sometimes we've been in the game a long time. We're like, oh, use PropStream or use the Bigger Pockets calculator or use. I've already got some tools that I'm using, and we've been in the game for a
Yeah,
long time, Kate. Um, so yeah, I'd be curious to see it. Now, go watch that Nick Despotidis episode
I have it up. Yeah, I'm gonna
because
listen to
Nick
that.
talks Nick talks about using AI in some specific ways, but he's using it like for analysis, like that
Hmm.
keyword analysis, then using it to
Hmm.
turn into some creating a rudimentary floor plan, and he goes deep on like his market on where the opportunities are it's stuff like maybe unpermitted work or square footage doesn't show up. Like that's where he's
Mm,
using it to get an advantage. Um, I'll share a story that might. This is how I think about AI. There's brokerage called Avanti Way. Avanti Way is an AI powered brokerage out of Miami, right? And Miami is one of the it's the largest board of realtors in the country. So they are like the forefront of all the boards of realtors. A lot of stuff happens there that doesn't happen other places. So, anyways, they use predictive AI. So they use AI two ways. They use it to write contracts, and then they use predictive AI. But when I found out what they're using the predictive AI for, I was like, this makes sense. It's what they're feeding it in. So they're using predictive AI to like predict who's going to move, but they're pulling that data
mm,
from a couple places. They're looking at death notices, okay? They're looking at divorce notices,
mm.
right? And then they're pulling a list from a data broker that you could get from a CVS or a Walgreens. CVS can predict you're pregnant before you know you're pregnant. We've
That's
seen that,
crazy.
right? Like they just look at like patterns, they know, and so they're pulling that information off of like predictive births. And so once I found that out, I was like, everything new isn't necessarily new. Like the presentation
Hmm.
is new, but like the underlying raw data isn't like AI magically generated this raw data. Like they are
Right, right.
literally gathering this for us. I thought that was pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
I would love to see if you could do it on code violations. I haven't been using that for identifying. And you could use AI for pre-foreclosures, but I think I would use it for Jesse's thing. I would go and ask it like, where am I identifying the sources?
So I'll briefly explain because I don't want to take too much time, but I just actually invested in basically an AI overlay with Chat GPT. So it's real estate specific, and this guy basically built it out, gave it all the intelligence and experience that he wanted it to have. So, and I ran some scenario. I'm going to look at some properties after this and ran those properties through, and it gave me an insane rundown, like the most in-depth thing I've ever seen.
Really?
And I am not tech savvy at all. My husband laughs at me because I can't, I'm horrible with it. But this for me is extremely helpful because it just removes that whole like huge extra chunk of time that I would be spending doing all this research. So not only can it do, analyzing and
What specifically did it give you? I'm so curious.
so it gave me I can email you exactly what it
Sure.
gave me. I'm happy to send it to you. But it basically gave me like it gave me a summary. It told me based on the information I gave it, which was just the address, and then I mentioned that it had a hole in the roof because a tree fell on it. So it basically gave me what it would three different options as far as what it could sell for ARV wise and uh, information about the market, pretty much analyze the deal for me without even having pictures, videos, or anything like that. And essentially told me, like, okay, if you get the property for this price or this price or this price, this is what you can expect. This is what, and it gave me so much information in such detail that, like without even really having to prompt it. And
And
that
you've
I
been in the
found to be
market
really
a long time. The roof repair numbers seemed normal. The ARV seemed reasonable.
It did, yeah. And the comps that it
Yeah.
came up with, because I was gonna vet the comps always. Like I'm always gonna vet those, just being a realtor. Like I don't trust anything but my own eyes on MLS. And the comps were pretty on point. So I was really pleased with it because like I said, I just invested in it and I kind of pulled the trigger just thinking like, all right, let me give this a try. And so far I was really pleased. But he said that we could run those lists like pre-foreclosures, code violations and all that stuff. So he basically built it in so that we could run that and essentially get a notification on public websites where, like what's it called? Like a demand and so I forget the name of the document, but essentially once it's published, then the AI will make an alert and let me know like, hey, this has just been published on this website. You can
Yep.
go reach out to this
Yeah.
owner or seller or
Like
whatever. And
using agentic
like
AI so you don't
amazing.
have to, yeah, to go after
Yeah.
like, hey, there's been a lease pendants file for that pre-foreclosure, or there's
Right.
been a demand letter for that, code violation. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
And then you just have to think about what your workflow is for converting those, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that sounds like a great tool. I'd be very curious.
We'll
Send it over,
see. Yeah, we'll see. See how it goes. All right, cool. Thanks, Jesse.
Jesse. What else?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. I think the biggest thing is just a reminder of the basics. Like we can get real complicated with this, right? It is though, build the list, email the list, call the list, right? Position myself as a wealth
Yeah.
determiner. Like not complicated topics. What books do you love giving out? Like what besides Millionaire Real Estate Investor, what else do you like giving out?
So Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I heard you talk about that one, and
Yep.
then I think it was is it the Pathway of Money? I think it was the Path. What's it? What is it? Not the Perfect Pathway. What is it? Let me double check.
Okay.
Um, Pathway.
I got one here. This is a good one for a certain type
The
of.
Psychology of Money. There you go.
There we go.
I'm
Okay, I
thinking
thought
about another
so.
book. I would think about it. There's another book. It was something. The
The
Path to
money,
Money. That's the book.
path of money. Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Psychology of Money is fascinating because it is written like a pop psychology book, like a freakonomics or like a it's stories. And so I resisted read. I thought it was going to be. Personally, I love fiction. I don't read a lot of business books, which might surprise y'all. Like I don't. I never loved reading business books. So I slept on a lot of very good business books along the way. I'm going to own that. Where you go read the energy books and you're like, this is an amazing book. This is it seems silly, but it's an amazing metaphor. Like it gets me fired the heck up. Or then you read Psychology of Money for my person that maybe doesn't think they're an investor. That is a great one talking about just how money works and how we think about money and how, our perceptions about money are influenced by the markets that we live through, the events that happen in our lifetime, right? Um, no, that's fantastic. Jesse, where else can we connect with you? What else are you doing and where can we support you?
Not right now. Just just hitting the road soon. So I got a few more things lined up that I'll be traveling, teaching. But other than that, I'm on the grind like you all. I'm building my personal business back up. Last year was just me traveling and teaching. This year is I'm adding that, pillar back to,
Where
what I'm building.
where are you on the path on that journey to get approved as faculty?
Oh, well, I will after next week I should be international master faculty, so be good
Let's
to go.
go. My man set out a goal to become master faculty for Keller Williams. Keller Williams is the best training company in our industry, just hands down. And I'm just gonna say that even though I'm at a different brokerage, but they just so much of what this industry is because of how they revolutionized the industry. So here's what you can do if you are in a market, right? You got a friend who's at the red agency. Tell them to bring Jesse Coleman to town. You can
Oh
come
yeah,
see him.
I that's the beautiful thing about what I teach. It's broker agnostic, so I've done EXP, real, like Century 21, the old place. Like I do it all. So it's not one of
Yep.
those things where it's just stuck to one place.
Yep, the breakthrough blueprint is so go back and you can watch Jesse's old. He wrote a whole new training course, the breakthrough blueprint. He could bring that to your
Yeah.
brokerage as well. Jesse, I appreciate you making time to come out here
My
and
pleasure, my
get
pleasure.
tactical this morning, man.
Yep, and then again, I dropped my Facebook and my IG is in the chat. If you all have any questions, definitely reach out to me. And then yeah, I'll be more than happy to help you.
Hey, we appreciate you having this here this morning, man. Be excellent.